Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Core Time here, our new podcast. Really excited to have you all here today. My name is Karina, one of the co-founders of Core Timepieces.
I'm Steven. I'm the other co-founder, the designer, the troublemaker.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's all correct. Why are we doing this? We're really excited to be here. This is obviously one of our first episodes, and the reason why we're doing it is because for you all, we've heard back from many customers and people at shows that we meet that are always saying, tell us more about the brand. We want to understand more about why you do what you do and everything else, because there is a lot of thought that goes into it. And you can only kind of figure out so much from a website or from emails or those kinds of communications. So we wanted to do this in kind of our own voice, have a nice kind of back and forth dialogue with customers and fans and people who like what we do. But maybe Steve, you can let the folks know a little bit about, our history and where we started.
Yeah, well, we kind of got two starting points. We started the company drunk in a bar. I was pissed about the bartender taking too long to give me my cocktail, right? You were talking about watches. At the time, I didn't care about watches. $50 for a watch to me was a lot of money. So I started doodling on a napkin, right? You were talking about the bartender wearing the Mickey Mouse watch. I wanted to do a Mickey Mouse watch, but with him holding a switchblade.
Mm-hmm.
You started talking about licensing. It'll be too much money. Like, all right, forget Mickey Mouse. Let's just do the switchblade hand. So it went from there. You were asking about the complications. Do we put the date on the left, on the right? I was like, no date. Instead of the days, we do 7 sins. And it kind of took off from there. We called the company Sharp Brothers. We started doing some, live events.
Mm-hmm.
COVID kicked our ass, right? We had to pivot.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the best thing. We really thought about changing the name from Sharp Brothers to Core. Core kind of encompassed more of what we were doing. Sharp Brothers was really more about the switchblade. We wanted to move past that in other models, other lines.
Yeah.
So Core was more about what's it kind of what are we all about? Is it just watches? We've got some other things that we sell besides watches. We do live events. So those are kind of our two starting points. And, I'm sure as we move along with this podcast, we'll go back, tell some stories about that night. Oh yeah, we've got some good stories about that night. Talking about our Basel, that first show we went to, we were talking to town. We were talking to town till the fucking banana stole it from us.
That's right.
Everyone was coming to our booth like, you're the watch guy. You're the watch guy. We were the only, we weren't even art. Like, yes, what we do is art, but everyone had paintings and sculptures, and we were selling an actual product. Right. And that lady was so pissed at us. Who was wanting it.
Well,
everyone kept coming by. Like, you're the watch guy. You're the watch guy. We got a ton of videos. Check out our old videos of those people. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, we got a lot of good feedback at that show. We asked people on camera, what sin do they identify with, why, and we had a really nice layout there, and it was a great show.
We hosted an event after that. After one of the nights, we were there, I think, a week, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And we hosted the event at the bar. Banksy showed up, Bansky, whatever his name.
Yeah.
Or his crew.
Thanks.
And thanks. It was a great time. Check out the videos.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff for sure. I mean, on these podcasts, we're going to talk a lot about, different topics. First and foremost, we're going to discuss, what's on the wrist, because it wouldn't be sort of a show by some watch guys unless we did it. And maybe sometimes there's not going to be anything on the wrist. But today, I've got my Panther Pink. I really love this Panther Pink Fury GMT watch on. I love it. And I sort of got a little matchy. I'm wearing it with my U2 Live at the Sphere hoodie. I was there a couple weeks ago. It was a really unbelievable experience. If you haven't been to the Sphere, you should check it out. Whether you're a fan or not, it's definitely a very interesting kind of technological marvel as far as how music is coming together with that. But, people have different feelings on that.
Yeah, my feeling. I think the idea and the concept is great. I think it's an amazing idea. I think they sort of fail a little bit on the delivery. Like, from what I'm hearing, I haven't been there, right? But from what I'm hearing, there are maybe half of the seats do not have a full view of the ceiling, the side, because there's a balcony. So there are seats under the balcony. So when you're under the balcony, you're not going to be able to see, that full orb effect. I think it's a great idea. They should really figure that out.
You're right. I mean, I was there. We luckily had some good seats that weren't really obstructed. But what I found really interesting was, as much as it's a visual thing, it's definitely an auditory thing. I mean, you hear music in that place in a way that's very, very different because of its structure, its acoustics, the way the sound bounces. I mean, when I saw U2, it was weird. It was like Edge is over here and now he's over there and now he's over there. And like the sounds were bouncing in a way that was really, really interesting. So any of you audiophiles out there, outside of the visual, you can literally close your eyes and just have an auditory experience, which was very unique for that place. And we know, you go to concert halls and they're designed in particular ways to get certain sound. That's what I found, more fascinating than the look. I mean, the look was cool, but the sound was really...
I saw them building it a couple of years ago, and just watching that go up is unbelievable. It's really cool. Is U2, so U2 is the first show that they did that, correct? First resident show. So are they going to be a resident?
I don't know. I mean, they've done like some other like little like The Experience. They do some other things that are kind of like IMAX-y type of stuff where you just kind of go in and sort of like just take in what they can project and what they can do in there. But they definitely were one of the first residency. But yeah, so that's what the watch I got on, and that's my story on U2. What do you got on your wrist today?
I'm wearing the Seven Sins Titanium. This is the second version of the Seven Sins. The original one was stainless steel PVD coated, a little bit of a different shape. Actually, this is our Shaw Brothers one. Yeah. So we went from the first Shaw Brothers Seven Sins. We did Core Timepieces Seven Sins, and now we've got the titanium version. So I like them both. Different case shape. At first, I didn't like it. Do you remember? At first, I was like, we're not doing it. We're sticking to the original case. But yeah, I've grown to like it. Yeah, I have it on the rubber Barton band. Yeah, I'm more of a fabric, natural sort of straps. I'm not too, I don't wear the bracelets that often. But yeah, that's kind of what's on my wrist right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great piece.
Yeah.
So without further ado, on every show, we're going to obviously have a guest, as we've talked about. And we've got a truly special guest today, Mr. Richard Crawford, who basically is a lifestyle guru, has amazing experiences, and we're truly honored to have him on the show. Welcome, Richard.
An absolute guru. Love it. Love it. How about you just follow me around the world career and introduce me every room I walk into?
Yeah.
Say, hey, Richard Crawford, the absolute guru. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome.
We're so happy to have you on the show. Really appreciate it. Steve, what's your...
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to chat with you. I've seen your show on Amazon. Loved it. A lot of fun. One question I got for you, as this lifestyle guru, someone who's running all over the globe, having fun, partying, what do you look for in a timepiece? When you travel, do you bring that one piece with you? Do you travel with more than one watch? Logistically, going through customs, all that shit? Or, can you just talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So the answer to one of those questions as to whether I travel with more than one watch is because I have an Apple Watch. Everybody has an Apple Watch, but that's more utilitarian, right? Than it is about style. But I'd be lying if I told you I only carried one watch. So there is an Apple Watch in there every now and again. I got to check my steps and keep my cholesterol down. So that's purposeful. But from a watch point of view, my personal preference for a watch is simplicity. So I'm not about big diamonds and flashiness, and I'm more about a story behind a watch or what a watch represents. So, if I could get an original watch from 1914 World War I, that would be the ultimate watch, because that would have a hell of a story behind it. Because I believe that's when the first wristwatches were worn. I might be wrong. What do I know? But the short answer, Steve, is yes, I look for simplicity, and I look for something that that represents a story.
Nice.
So, I mean, without revealing too much, I mean, we like to road test our watches here for sure. And,
Right.
put them through the ringer. I mean, anytime that, we get a watch in here, especially the new watches that, we develop, we wear them, we beat them up, we take them to the ends of the earth, which somebody did that for us. I'm not going to reveal all that much, but the reality of it is that you took one of our watches, the Fury GMT, to a pretty interesting place. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about, what happened there and what you did?
Yeah. So I got to take this watch, this one right here. I got to take that to an incredible trip that I went on as part of Leave No Trace. And that was to the incredibly dry, cold, windiest place in the world, actually, Antarctica. Actually, here, I don't know if your audience can see it, but look at that. That's the watch.
Look at that.
That's the actual watch.
Look at that right on the wrist. That's cool.
Yeah, it's right there.
That's
So that was an experience of a lifetime. I get to go to a lot of places with Leave No Trace, and very often people ask me, what's your favorite place? Up until Antarctica, my answer was always, well, it depends, right? Different places offer different things, different experiences. But since going to Antarctica, my answer is instant: Antarctica. There's nowhere else like it in the world. It is remote, it's desolate, it's dangerous, and you are very, very vulnerable.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I guess my next question is how do we do? Like, how did it do? Did it keep on ticking? I guess it did, because you got it on your wrist. So
yeah, so that's a genuine concern, right? When you're in temperatures that could be minus, well, I think the record was minus 80 degrees. But temperatures typically in the minus 20s. There is a concern there that you take anything that's pseudo-mechanical down there, that things would freeze up. This watch did not. It did not. It worked every day.
good job.
The other really cool thing about this watch is look at that face. I really like the bright orange face on it. I know you guys have different colors, but what this did in that Antarctica was stand out, so that I could look at my watch and tell the time. Snow blindness in Antarctica is a real thing. Like, you go down there, everything becomes very flat. If you didn't have those goggles, it doesn't take long for you to get snow blindness. It's a real thing. So here's where a watch like this really matters in Antarctica. A, with the goggles on, I could still see it, right? So it's bright, it's orange, I can tell the time. B, when you're in Antarctica, there's two seasons: there's sun up season and sun down season. So it's either 24 hours of sunlight or it's 24 hours of darkness. So you really don't have an idea of what time it is, right? So it's very important that your watch works. Yeah. Otherwise, you have no idea. It was the strangest thing. We did a time lapse of the sun in the sky. And normally when you do a time lapse, you see that sun go down and drop in the sky. In our time lapse in Antarctica, the sun went horizontally across the sky. It was the weirdest thing. So, this watch ticked a lot of boxes. At first it worked, which was amazing. Second, it was very, very visible, which was great. And third, I needed something that I could depend on to tell the time.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's got the alternate time zones, which are good as a GMT, so you can know what's going on back home. And we really wanted to build that as a traveler's watch, and I think the idea behind it was, what's your passion? Is it travel? Is it hanging off the side of some ice cavern in Antarctica? I guess that's your passion. We appreciate the comments on it. Yeah, sure.
It was great. We're gonna have a link.
Yeah, no, I was very, very satisfied with it, and it was very, very dependable.
Great. We'll have a link down below for people to go watch that show. Check it out.
Yeah, please. We're excited. Season 1's been out for a while. Season 2, we're in post, and we've got a few episodes to edit. But we're really excited to get that out, because we actually, believe it or not, did all 7 continents in season 2. Antarctica is obviously the big one. It is the 7th one, but we also went into the deepest, darkest Republic of Congo, which was interesting. We saw some gorilla in the mist there. So we're excited. We're excited about the new season. We think people are really going to enjoy it.
Nice. Very cool. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Actually, I got two questions for you. The first one, what was the first watch that you purchased yourself? Do you remember?
Timex. A Timex. A Timex. I was a 12-year-old, just went into high school, and I had a paper round, delivering papers, and with the little bit of money that I had in my pocket, a Timex was the watch that I remember. I remember what it looked like.
Nice.
It was a Timex.
Nice. So a similar story. I had a paper route, and I used that money to buy my first watch as well. And it was a Casio Data Bank, I think it was. It was like the calculator watch. But I bought it off of, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade. It was a science final exam. And I was like, I need a way to cheat.
So you got the
I
calculator.
put the periodic. No, I put instead of an address book, I used it for the periodic table. And I would just sit there. I hope my science teacher ain't watch that one.
The first.
Can't even remember.
Good.
I got another question for you.
Yeah.
We have the 7 sins watch, right?
Yeah.
Instead of 7 days of the week, it's a different sin each day.
Right.
What sin do you relate to? Either that you embrace it and you have fun with it, or that this is no good for me and you have to consciously, daily rebel against it.
Gluttony.
Gluttony.
I want it all. I want it now.
I know that about Richard, and more specifically, Maltesers. His Maltesers, keep that away from this man. He literally keeps those guys in business.
Which for your audience who don't know what that is, it's a candy, kind of like the malt balls you have here in the States, but it's much better. And I studied those, and you open a box and you're supposed to eat them one at a time, but I typically put the box up. I would say gluttony, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's just what it is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, one of the most negative comments we get about that watch on social media is, you guys are blasphemers. They go total religious, and they're like, why are you promoting the sins? And they don't get that we're not promoting the sin. We're giving you that chance to, are you going to embrace it? Are you going to be that person, or are you going to rebel against it? It really is a reminder to, live the life that you want to live.
Yeah, I mean, and again, for us, if someone feels that it's a religious thing for them, that's fine. If someone doesn't feel that it is, then that's also fine. I mean, we're just basically creating the catalyst for exploration and discussion, right? Yeah. You're looking at this watch, you're determining whether you embrace or rebel. It's a different kind of a reminder every day. But yeah, that's one of our fun pieces. So gluttony for you, huh?
Yeah. We have to get that 7 sins watch on your wrist, maybe for season 3.
Outside of the core timepiece, a 7 sins watch.
Yeah, get you a 7 sins. Oh, there you go.
Got it. Nice.
There you go. He's got the whole collection. We don't even need to give him one.
I just during my day I just swap them out. This is from my morning watch. This is my afternoon watch.
Very cool. That's it. That's how you're supposed
to. When I'm feeling gluttonous.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome.
Ricky, man, thank you so much for joining today. We really appreciate you coming on. We love what you do.
Ricky, how can audience members kind of find out more about what you're doing these days? Like what would be some links or places where they would
I did go go to the social media pages on Facebook. It's at Leave No Trace TV, and Instagram at Leave No Trace TV, so you can get on there and keep updated with what's happening. So
and for us,
you guys can right here you guys can put the
link
right there.
Right around there. And then for us, obviously, we are going to be at coretimepieces.com, or follow us on Instagram. And for all of you audience members, please subscribe. And we're looking forward to seeing you on the next podcast episode of Core Time. Thanks again, Ricky. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Love your watches.
Thanks.